Main Street. The words conjure up images of wholesome small-town life, of a place and time when local business owners were our friends and our neighbors. A time before the era of the regional mall and the big box store. A time when every town had a unique character created by its architecture, with locally owned and operated businesses along our main streets. The farm crisis of the 1980s brought about foreclosure and bankruptcy. This threatened not only the small family farm, but also the communities supporting those farm families, and a way of life treasured throughout our country's history as part of our national character. In 1985, the Main Street, Iowa program was started as a hopeful bulwark against our endangered and vanishing historic downtowns. From the beginning, it was not seen as simply a government program. Instead, Main Street provides a framework for empowering local leaders to engage with their community in a dialogue to reach consensus in what's needed and what can be done to return historic commercial districts to their rightful place as economic and cultural centers. Since its inception, the Main Street, Iowa program has assisted scores of communities across the state to spur more than $1.2 billion of private investment into downtown buildings. Nearly 4,000 new businesses creating more than 11,600 new jobs, and 9,200 building rehabilitation projects. Volunteers drive the Main Street program. Nearly 2.3 million documented volunteer hours prove this does not happen without local passion and investment of human capital.
Results of this magnitude don't come easily. Each Main Street, Iowa community has made a strong commitment to this process, both from the public and private sectors, and has learned to take advantage of tools to bolster their local successes. One of those tools with tremendous results is the Main Street, Iowa Challenge Grant Program. Since 2002, the Challenge Grant Program has invested more than $4 million in 83 projects throughout Iowa's Main Street communities and has leveraged nearly $36 million in private investment. These grants have supported efforts to rehabilitate local historic landmarks, created new living opportunities downtown, improved spaces for new and existing business, and constructed compatible new infill. In addition to the bricks and mortar projects, Challenge Grant funds have delivered 200 trainings and technical assistance visits from nationally known professionals. These opportunities benefit all of Main Street, Iowa's districts. They range from trainings focusing on property development, sustainable initiatives, and business development to on-site technical visits that support local businesses and historic resources.
It's amazing the kinds of things that people got accomplished with just the Challenge Grant money. But probably more importantly, what actually I think ended up happening was it just simply primed the pump. It created that equity position that the developer needed, maybe to convince a banker or convince a private investor, or just to go home and convince their wife that we need to do this.
We needed to save this building. You need to save as many buildings as you can in small town Iowa. They're the property tax producers. They're the one that allow you to have retail in your downtown. And so it was important that we save this building.
Definitely the Main Street program was the impetus to help us get going once we were awarded that grant. And that kind of helped us build momentum to get more funding. It was pretty expensive to do it, but we wanted to do it right.
We are just now the very beginning, the very first prime of the pump was a Main Street Challenge Grant for $25,000. And $25,000 didn't go all that far, but it did create the excitement that helped us spur the project forward. We spent that money on windows. And so the impact that it had on the overall appearance of the building was significant.
Become part of this, you definitely have a team to support you through the whole process. And I definitely felt that every minute of the way.
Many, many, many years of usage of these buildings now that we've pretty much saved them. We don't know what the use is going to be. Sometimes you never know what the use is going to be, but the fact is, if you don't have them ready for occupancy, they'll never be occupied. So you've got to kind of stick your neck out every once in a while.
I know that many communities have similar experiences where the Challenge Grant itself really isn't the the loaf of bread, but it's kind of the butter that makes you think I want to have the loaf of bread.
The Main Street Iowa program serves as a valuable tool for economic development and historic preservation. I've witnessed the success of this program firsthand in communities all across the state. For 27 years, Main Street Iowa communities have been improving the economic, fiscal, and social values of their historic Main Street districts. Since 1986, many Iowa communities have made bold decisions. They took destiny into their own hands and revitalized their main streets into thriving town centers. The Main Street Iowa program has been a pragmatic force behind this positive change, helping Iowa's commercial districts with a time-proven approach that works. Since 1986, for every dollar the state of Iowa has invested in operating the Main Street program, the private sector communities have invested $71.93 into building improvements and acquisitions. That's an amazing return to the state. $72 for every $1 invested.
The Main Street Iowa Challenge Grant Program, helping Iowa's communities, small and large, reinvigorate local economies, explore cutting-edge thinking in energy conservation and sustainability, attracting young and diverse entrepreneurs, and all the while helping to preserve the best of our past. Visitors today to Main Street Iowa communities will find them alive and flourishing, and some of the best main streets in America.
As a senior member of the Senate Appropriations Committee, I have strongly supported the Main Street Iowa program. And this program is in a class by itself. It's smart, it's effective, it has a powerful multiplier effect, and it touches communities and people in very concrete ways. Main Street Iowa grants do a great job of leveraging other public and private funding. My friends at IEDA tell me that the nearly $5 million in federal appropriations that I've gotten over the years have been matched by an additional $36 million in private sector investments. That's a ratio of better than $7 of private money for every $1 of federal money, which is pretty incredible.
Well, nationally, there is no more cost-effective means of economic development of any kind than Main Street. There's just none. And no question in anybody's mind that Iowa Main Street is the best state Main Street program in the country.
It's taken a while, but the town has been saved and people are proud to live here. And that's the important part of living in a small town, being proud of your town and wanting it to continue for over the years.